And we are live. Welcome back to Real Talk with Andres and Heather. I am Heather, and this is Andres.
Hey everyone, good to be back. Let's get this going.
So we've been a while since we've done a in person live podcast. I'm already messing up. 2 seconds in, I'm already messing up.
That's the
And
beauty of it.
and we've been working on, and we've been promising and promising to release the app that we've been working on, and we are. It is live.
We are live.
So, and the app is live. So that's good too. And so today I thought we would kind of go through it a little bit, kind of demonstrate some of the stuff it can do. And then you've been using it, Andres. I know I've been using it too. And we can talk about the different ways it's helped us and the different things that it can do and ways it can help other communities as well.
That is great. I know we put the podcast on the side to work on this app. We decided to go with this project 2-3 months ago,
Yeah.
and it have been incredible. Just putting in the work, making adjustment. We put something out there. We try it out. Next thing you know, more obstacles come in, and we keep finding ways to go around that. And here we are today. And something that we said when we started, even at the beginning of the year, we started this podcast a year ago, and where we wanted to be at a year from that, and we are just over a year at the beginning of this month when we first launched the episode. Uh, and it's one of those things that as an entrepreneur, we put our mindset into something. We surface around the idea of we want to do a podcast, we want to do a podcast, we want to do a podcast, and we just decided let's go live with it, and here we are a year later. Have we had the success that we wanted? I think we have grown a lot over the past year, and on both on a personal level, both on a business level, and as a podcast personality, I think we have grown quite a bit as well. There's still room for improvement. There's still great things ahead, and I'm excited for that because we continue to push ourselves to be better every episode, every day, and we continue to come up with ideas to make our life better, but also to help other businesses, to help other entrepreneurs, other mindset out there. And Real Talk and the platform that we put together is an example of that. 3 months ago, we like how can we make our life easier when using a CRM? How can we actually use CRM? It's one of the ideas that we came up. How can we facilitate the use of the CRM? Because a lot of people have them, but do they actually use it? And 3-4 months later, here we are live with our system with Glitch, and it's just mind-boggling that we launched this, and there's still more. There's still more improvement. There's still a lot more things that it's capable of doing. The things that we have done so far with it, we still haven't even touched the surface. I looked at mine and it says I've only used it like 10% of what it's capable of doing. And I'm like, damn, I'm not
Yeah.
using
I
it
have
up.
a sheet where I can track all the calls that are made and all the different tools that Glitch uses, and we've barely scratched. Even with amongst all the clients that are using it, we've barely scratched the surface of what he can do, as opposed to what he is doing right now currently. And so, like I think a lot of that is we probably need to have more meetings with the clients that are using them and be like, hey, he can do this, he can do this. So I think what we should probably install within the next couple of weeks is every week we have a new training on a different tool that he can use and how you can use it, because it's all about making your life easier, right?
And I think that's the biggest thing, right? We want to make our life easier, but at the same time, some people don't take the time to figure it out what it can do for you and integrate and get the foundation set up so that it does all of that moving forward. Just before this, I was working on mine, setting up different pipelines, different workflows, so that it can automate some of the things that need to happen on a consistent basis that I forget as a human. Hey, I got to text so and so. I got to email so and so. But now I have a system in here that tells me every morning, like, hey, you need to call so and so. You need to text so and so. Do you want a text? I already have it for you. Just let me know. And these are the little things that will make a difference over the long term of your business, over the long term of your career, right? Because as a real estate agent, this is it. Like, it's on me to make sure everything gets done.
What I think is really nice, what I love is the morning briefs. So every morning, a morning brief comes in and it tells you, hey, this is your daily brief. Like I'll just kind of read mine. It says Thursday, July 9th, 8:01 a.m. And then it says new leads. It lists the new leads that came in overnight. And then the pipeline stages, it's telling me where everybody is in the pipeline, if there's been any recent pipeline stage changes within our pipeline. And then it tells me unread conversations, and it says, so you have 13 total conversations that need to get handled back to. And then it gives me suggestions on what to say to those 13 conversations. It also weeds out what's actual conversation and what's just noise. Like, those Instagram and Facebook messages you get that are like people advertising you things and things like that. So they're not really a lead. It's just a conversation. It weeds through those. It can tell you that. And then it says next step, if you approve. So out of the 13, 9 were real messages. And so it says out of that, if you approve the 9 follow-up message drafts, just go ahead and hit approve and we can send those out. So if you I don't know what time you wake up, but let's just say you woke up at 8 o'clock, you look at your TikTok or however, not your TikTok, your Telegram, however you're communicating with Glitch, and you see everything that came in overnight, everything that's waiting for you to do, and all you have to do is click approve, and those messages will go out. You're not having to message anybody. You're not having to go through, sit down at your desk, go through each pipeline, each conversation. It's all handled for you right then and there.
Yeah, that's just beautiful. And here you are replying to what, 9 conversations within
Yep.
10 seconds.
Yep, nine conversations within a touch of a button. Now, if you want Glitch to be more fully automated, I cannot talk. Then and to work autonomously, you could have your permissions set up where he just answers those leads. However, I have ours set up where he needs approval. Anytime it has anything to do with money or talking to people, he needs to get the approval before he sends that out. But the longer you use him, the more he learns your business, because he is self-improving and he is self-learning, the more comfortable you're going to get with him. And then you can go ahead and decide. We have an entire bot control page where you can decide how much freedom you want to give him and how much control he can have.
No, and along those lines, something happened to me last week that it's just beautiful. I was in the middle of dinner with the family. We were at a restaurant, and it was 9 something, a little late. But throughout the process, my boss was engaging with a lead that reached out to me during that time frame, and I saw messages back and forth, but I was not, I'm one of those. If I'm in the middle of dinner, I would not answer the phone. Unless it's somebody important, I would not answer the phone. I'm very respectful when it comes to sitting at the table. So later on, it was 10 something, almost 10:30 at night, and I noticed that it was still engaging, and these people were engaging, talking to it as if it was me. And I'm like, oh shit. Let me pause it. Let me respond to them. I'm like, look, let me look into this tomorrow, and I'll get back to you and stuff. This is me. I'm responding now. Uh, Let me get back to you tomorrow with all the details, because they wanted some answers right then and there. I wasn't about to get on the computer almost 11 o'clock and try to have a full blown conversation about a property with these people. Um, so, but it was great to see that he was engaging on the conversations, moving those leads along, providing all the details that they needed. And when it was to a point that it could no longer answer, it said, you know what, let me get Andres will contact you, provide you those information. I'm not able to do that, but Andres will be able to do that. Allow him to get that information for you. So it was great to see, because, like I said, sometimes we get busy. We're in the middle of dinner or something. And in this space, people move around quickly. If you don't get an answer for them, they'll find an answer somewhere else.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely move on. And you got to answer the leads. You got to talk to them. They'll definitely find somebody who will. They'll find somebody who will answer their questions. So, if you don't believe me, just go on Facebook and type in "I need a real estate agent" and have fun. Watch, your notifications die, because You're gonna get blown up.
Every time I see a comment like that, every time I see a post, I don't even bother. Because by the time you looked at it, it's over 100 comments on there. I know so and so, I know so and so, I know so and so. I'm like, okay. It's like not even. But it's great. It's good to see that social media is a place people can go and find what they do. So, and we're in that time of that age where everything is accessible within a click of a button. So, for example of that, people need something, social media. Hey, I need so and so. Boom, 1,000 recommendations come up.
And what I'm really excited about, especially for real estate agents, is what we're developing right now. What will be launched soon is the ability to have your documents filled out for you. And that to me is going to be, being a real estate agent myself, Tony's also a real estate agent, you're a real estate agent. The number one thing for us, I think that is, I don't want to say like time wasting, because it's not time wasting, but it's time taking, is
Hmm.
the contracts, the documents that we have to go in and we fill out. Like if you've been showing houses all day, you've been out, you've shown, I don't know, 5, 6 houses, and then you have an hour drive home. Is it just put your feet up and chill and watch TV the rest of the night?
I wish. That's no longer the case. If you want to submit an offer, you got to sit down and make that happen. Get it done right then and there before the night is over. Um, and man, with the glitch and what you mentioned, I think that's just an incredible asset. It's your own transaction coordinator.
Yep. I mean,
You
just
know,
imagine being able to like tell Glitch to say, hey, Glitch, we're going to make an offer on 123 Main Street. Give it the information that it needs to fill out that documentation for you. And then when you get home, all of that is filled out. Now, I would not just trust Glitch to just do your work for you. This is a preparation enhancement, not a do it for you and submit it and you don't have to do anything. This is having it filled out, having it done, and then you go through, you check everything, you make sure everything is correct. Because even sometimes if you're pulling from public record, that's not correct. So you
yeah.
should checking everything anyways. You check your documents, you make sure everything is good, and then you send it over to your clients to sign, and you've saved yourself, at least 30 minutes to an hour of time, depending on how quickly you can put together a contract.
Oh, definitely. I think it will save me some time because I'm always checking every little detail and reviewing everything multiple times before it goes out. But I think that's like you said, it's essential. It's it's a tool that will help you and enhance your business, facilitate a number of things, speed up the process on a number of things, not necessarily do everything for you. Can it do certain things for you? Absolutely, it can. But at the same time, you also want to verify everything that it's doing to ensure that it's going with the language that you want to and with the accuracy that you expect and that people are expecting from you. And sometimes it's a matter of twitching a couple of things. It's a matter of training, giving it the feedback, the information that it needs from you in order to operate in the way that you want it to. And it's just a matter of sitting down and getting those details in place to ensure that moving forward is executing the way that you want them to. And a lot of times with technology, people just plug in and play and they expect certain type of results. They
Yeah.
expect certain things done, and it's not always the case. You have to make some adjustment in order to operate the way that you wanted to, and just taking that initial time to be able to get that done. But
let's let's back up a little bit and talk about like why we built Glitch and what led to the idea of even needing something like this. Amongst all of the big AI developments and all the AI drops that were happening roughly like 6 months ago, what was it for us that we were like, okay, the CRM thing isn't working for a lot of people, so like what was like the key moment for you that you realized people just weren't going to use a CRM?
I had the opportunity, and I would say this: coming into the real estate space, I've always had interest in the real estate space, right? And just to give you how it led to this to me for me, right? But I had the opportunity to work with real estate agents on a different level, right? Looking at the business from the inside out, how our real estate agents are operating, how they're doing their lead gen, how often are they contacting them, how they're using their system, their platform, right? Whichever they are using that they are provided by the brokers, regardless of any particular company. But it allows me to understand that one thing was common throughout the whole process, and it was that they were not using it enough, you know. And on the other side, I have one of my mentors, and you met him, Russ.
Mhm.
He's big on using CRM. That's all his business. From day one, he told me, "You're gonna be successful in this business. You have to have conversations. You need to have conversations. You need to track everything. You have to use your CRM. You dial it in every day. You call out. You make notes. You put everything in there, and you move forward with it." But the more I work with real estate agents, the more I realize that they're not doing any of that, and they're expecting any type of results. And you and I started seeing the development of AI and how things are coming along and progressing and integrating new tools into this business that are facilitating some of the steps and required in order to have the level of success that you want in this business. As far as the AI, taking notes, sending messages, having conversations, creating workflows, a number of things that are helping you in the CRM. And that led us continuously growing in the space and say, okay, so how can we put something together that will reduce the commitment, the time allocated from an agent to the CRM? And that's what led to Glitch. Like, how can we facilitate this? How can we facilitate this? And we encourage, and at the same time, encourage people to use the CRM. Because it's one thing when you like doing something compared to having to do something. And I feel like a lot of times people look at a CRM like, I have to do this, I have to do that. And they get discouraged and not use it at all. But if you make it fun, you make it interactive, I think you find a way you find yourself using it a little bit more often. And on top of that, you expand the type of use that you can do with it. You find yourself using it a little bit more. And I think we came up with Glitch, and it's an incredible thing that would allow people to do that. It definitely has on the people that we're using it so far, get great feedback from it. And I think the more people get involved with this, I think we'll see a lot more of that.
And it's not just real estate agents that are not using their CRM. It's, every walk of business, every industry, you have people that either do use a CRM or people that don't use your CRM. And if you're not using a CRM, you're using some type of lead tracking system to manage your leads. And if you're not, I don't know how you're keeping up with things, because one of the key things in sales is being able to connect with people. So what's important about the CRM is putting notes in your system. If you talk with somebody, you put in your notes about that conversation you had. That way, the next time you talk to that person, you can remember. Because if you're making the calls and making the connections every day that you're supposed to be making, there's no way you're going to remember every conversation from every person. That's just not going to happen unless you're like a super genius. And if you are, then come help us build Glitch. But if not, then you need to use a CRM. And like you said, we just found that people, they don't have the time. They don't want to update it. They don't even want to look at the CRM. And so Glitch is a way that you don't have to. Instead of talking to your CRM, you can do something as simple as text on Telegram, text on Discord, WhatsApp, or you can use the app that we created, and you can voice talk with Glitch and just talk to him with your regular voice. I asked it right now. So this is our demo account. Nails by Clara, which is Clara's my daughter, and she creates nails. So a little plug for her. She creates these really beautiful close-on nails. She needs to do my nails, by the way. So just so you know, if you're watching Clara. So I have her a demo account set up for her with like fake information and fake account information so that we can do some examples and bring some stuff up. But I just asked it right now, how can you help me day to day? And so some of the stuff that it's saying is this is like the very basic stuff. It can do way beyond this. And we'll get into how you connect things to Glitch and what it can do once you connect things. But some of that basic stuff that it can do is that it can watch for your leads and clients. So when your new leads come in, it scores them, it can tag them. It can tell you if they've gone cold, if you need to reach out to these leads. It follows up, it messages, it drafts text messages, emails for you. And then it can handle your calendar. It can find open slots. It can book meetings. It can reschedule. It can cancel anything you need it to do. We talked about already, like the pipeline, how it can move people through your pipeline, make sure that they're staying where they need to stay, which is extremely important. And then it runs while you sleep. So while you're asleep and those leads are coming in, they're not going cold because Glitch is answering them for you. And this is just a few of the things that it can do. It can help with your Google reviews. It can do your social media. It can actually create workflows for you, which is something that is very difficult to do inside the CRM. And Glitch, you just explain to Glitch in natural language. You would just say, hey, I want a workflow. I'm just going to give you an example. You would say, hey, I want a workflow where when a new lead comes in off of this Facebook ad, it's going to tag them this and assign them to this employee. And then that employee is going to be notified to call them back. And then Glitch will go into the CRM, go into your workflows, create that workflow, and then you have this workflow set up now so that when those leads come in from that specific ad, that they will get tagged and sent to the right person.
Beautiful. And how long will it take somebody to sit down and create all that workflow and put everything in place themselves?
I mean, it just depends on how good you're, like, if you're good with the CRM and GoHighLevel, like I could go in and I could probably knock it out in like 10 minutes. But I can tell you, like, when I first started GoHighLevel and I was first learning, it would have taken me a lot longer than that because I would have to go in and figure out how I'm doing this and, so.
Now it takes you less than a minute.
Yep. But it's very Glitch. So Glitch can be as powerful or as not powerful as you want him to be. One thing that we have done is we have created a bunch of connectors. So if there is systems that you're already paying for, like if you're already paying for QuickBooks, if you're already paying for HeyGen, if you're already paying for Zapier, if you're already paying for Google, like all the things that you're already paying for, connect them to Glitch. He has options to connect an API key to a bunch of things. So that way he can integrate those into your CRM for you. So just, for example, let's say you've cloned yourself on HeyGen and you want Glitch to take your clone and create a new video every week and put it on your social media. He can do that. You just have to teach him how to do that. And then he can do that. So you would simply set up a skill for him to know the steps that he has to take. But once you set that up once, it's set up. Yep.
You have a video on a weekly basis and you just have to tell him or even create a workflow for it to get it done. So incredible. It's just every week there's more and more stuff that we continue to learn from it, new skills that we continue to see and it's capable of doing. And the beauty of it, like you said earlier, it's not just about real estate. It's any business. It can essentially teach you the skills that you need for that business in order to help you maximize the help that you can get from it in your business. So it's not just about real estate. And that's amazing. Just imagine how many other people could use an extra help. It's incredible.
I mean, there's so many people that don't use a CRM that should be using a CRM, like especially if you're making money on social media. If you're making money off of your TikToks or if you're making money off of a shop that you have on like TikTok shop or Facebook, and you're not using some type of system to track that, and then to re-engage with your customers, you're losing business and you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah, you definitely are. And it happens to a lot of us. So I think that drive to put Glitch, find a way to use the CRM more often, to stay on top of it, to help improve your business, allow us to be here today and go live with Glitch. So excited for what's ahead for the next stage of Glitch and continue to grow within that space and help others along the way. That will be an amazing thing. I can't wait to hear the stories of how they were able to transform their business by using this platform. How they went from certain numbers to certain numbers. I can't wait to hear that, because that's the fuel that we're looking for. See people improve their business, grow in the space, and utilize all the tools that are accessible to
Now, the one thing I was going to show too on this is I was talking about the connectors. So we have different connectors here. I mean, there's so many different ones. HubSpot, Pipedrive, Close, Follow Up Boss, Active Campaign, Stripe, just and if Notion, if there's one that you're like, hey, I'm paying for this, I don't see it on the connector, just talk with us, because that's always something that, we want you to be able to get the most out of Glitch. So talk to us. That's something that we can help you with, something that we can connect. And then for his brain, so he comes with a built-in brain. And you also have the option of bringing your own brain if you would prefer to do that. Now, some people are paying for, their Anthropic, they have an Anthropic membership, like you have Claude, and you're like, hey, well, I pay for, Claude Max. I want that to be the brain. No problem. We can connect that for you. Google Gemini, Perplexia, OpenAI. If you have your own brain that you want to bring, we can definitely connect that for you as well. And then he would have access to all your sources there as well. Again, he does come with his own brain, but you're more than welcome to bring your own if you want to.
Nice. See, and there's gonna be people that are already familiar with all of that, and be able to integrate that and even expand the usage of it. So that's a great option there for anyone that's interested and is already working with all these tools to some extent, to continue to expand on what they're doing and grow within that. So.
And some of the safety features for your bot, when we have your setup meeting, we go through here and we decide how autonomous you want him to run and how autonomous you don't want him to run, and how you want him to speak to your clients if he is speaking to your clients. So if he is talking to your clients, then you can come in here, you can choose the name that your clients will see, the title, and then like the personality that he has when he's talking to them. So for you, he's Glitch, but for your clients, he could be somebody else. So like for us, he's Glitch, but for our clients on our account, he's Azold. And so he'll sign off as Azold, PA for Real Talk. So if you're ever talking to Azold, you're talking to Glitch. You can come in here and you can change, how careful your bot should be. Should he be cautious? Should he be balanced? Or should he run autonomous? So right now, I still have a few things that are always going to be needs approval. And since we're still in the beta testing period, if you get to the point where with your account, you're like, you know what, I'm tired of him always asking me if this is okay. I said he could do it. Let him do it. Then we can go in and specifically change that for your account. But for right now, there are things that he's always going to need approval on. See, like right now, Run on its own is locked for money. So money is going to be one thing that he always has to ask. And then the bulk delete is locked right now. And so is the setting and admin. Now, he would only need setting and admin access if you're creating, like, let's say you're using him for the agency and you're creating sub accounts and things like that. And you want him to be able to go ahead and create sub accounts, delete sub accounts, manage things. Glitch, like I said, he is self-learning. So you teach him the skills, you teach him how to do things. But while we're up and learning and he's still learning, I would say you need to approve things. Once you get to a certain point where he's demonstrated over and over and over again that he can do this, then you can kind of lift the reins a little bit. But for the meantime, we have him on a pretty tight leash when it comes to things that are going to have repercussions if they go out incorrectly.
No, and that's some of the fear that, or some of the concerns people have when we started looking into all these, right? Is what parameters, guardrails can we set up, and we decided to come up with this. I think there are some things that you certainly want to look over before you go, like you said, into you. It demonstrates that it's doing things the right way consistently, and again, each person is able to adjust that accordingly as they see fit. So I think it's great. I think it's great that we put all of these things in place, and the ease of use. It's user friendly because let's be honest, a lot of technology, a lot of AI tools, there's a lot going on, right? And it could be overwhelming for somebody who's not tech savvy, who doesn't use the CRM because they're not, you know, they're not into technology. They find them more of a obstacle, of a hazard to plug into the computer than pick up the phone and call whoever they need to call, or send a message to whoever they need to call. They don't want to deal with all these computer stuff. Um, I think this is user friendly, where you can just come in and make small changes. And once you set it up, it's just a matter of a text message or a voice message to get some of these things done. Wouldn't you say it's very easy to use for anyone that's has some concerns with other technologies integrated into this?
Oh yeah, I would say it's definitely easy to use because if you have any questions, you would just ask Glitch. Like you would, if you wanted to know if he could do something, you would just ask him, and you would say, "Hey, I want to do this. Is that something you can do?" And he'll either tell you, "Yes, it's something I can do," or "No, it's not something I can do," or he'll say, something to the effect of, "That is something I can do, but I'm not programmed, or I'm not trained, or I don't have the access that I need to do that. And in order to do that, I would need this. So you should contact, Heather or Andres and have them see about your account." Um, and that is, to me, the nicest thing is that it not only is it user friendly, it runs the CRM for you, so you don't have to do that, but that it gives you, a lot of people, like you were just saying, a lot of people are like, I don't want to follow up with those leads because I can't think of anything to say, or I don't want to answer that email other than, okay, thanks, but Glitch gives you the script. He's writing the drafts for you. He's telling you what to say. And the great thing about it is, let's back up a little bit. When you first sign up with us, what Glitch does is he scrubs your website. So he's going to scrub your website and your social medias, and he's going to learn all about your business. And then whatever he didn't learn, he's going to ask you some questions. And you're going to answer those questions just via chat with him, just like you've got an employee. And then once he knows your business, he's going to answer the questions of your clients if you have him talking to your clients. And then he's going to also draft up things in the image of your business. So whatever the voice and the tone of your business is, he's learned that. And now he's going to respond in a way that is how you would have handled it from your business. So you never have to worry about like some weird thing that doesn't apply to you. When I first started working with a CRM, when I was working with Tony on Holden Homes, we bought a CRM and it came with all these templates, which was great, except for they all said things like, "We can't wait to work with you," and like all these like expressions that we don't use here. So that wasn't something. So I had to literally go through every template and customize it, and it just got to be so. It was so time consuming. Whereas with Glitch, while we can also put templates on your account for you, and like if you're a lender or you're an agent, we can also put those templates on you. You can have Glitch go through there, and you could say, "Hey, take these templates, take this workflow, take these snippets, and make them sound like me. Use my custom values instead." And he can go through there and he can do all that for you.
Wow. So that idea of, man, there's so much to it that I don't have the time to sit down and do it. It's out of the question because you're not doing it. Glitch is doing it for you.
Glitch is doing it. I would say the hardest part about Glitch, honestly, would be the setup. And
Yeah.
once the setup is done, and then you're got him and he's running. But I mean, the setup, I would say a lot about like an hour to meet either with you or me, and we go through the account and we set it up and we make sure your permissions are what you want. Now, if you're connecting other tools to him, so like if you're bringing your API key from somewhere else and you're connecting it to him, you need to make sure that you have the correct settings, scopes, and permissions on that key that you're bringing to him. Because if you bring him a key that you've given him all access to something and he does something crazy on that end because you allowed him to do it, we can't monitor what he does on your other keys. So if you're bringing in your other keys, you need to make sure that you're giving him access to those to do whatever it is. But like if let's say you're going to connect QuickBooks to him, now instead of having like your QuickBooks and your CRM and then your QuickBooks over here, you can just have it all in one place and he can handle everything and make sure everything is correct.
That's crazy. And that's a beautiful thing right there because you're not longer going back and forth to verifying or doing the one project on one end and then having to do the same thing on another platform. It's all synchronized, connected into one.
Yep. And now
And one
he's
thing I wanted to add regarding those workflows and learning your business is that he has done it for me in English and Spanish. Like he already identifies how I interact in both English and Spanish with the leads and sends the messages accordingly pertaining to each one. And you would say, well, what do you mean you behave in English and Spanish? Well, my language is different in Spanish. The way I talk in Spanish is slightly different compared to, and the dialogue is different compared to other Spanish regions. So the good thing is kind of standardize, identifies how I talk and be able to communicate effectively with other leads that I have coming through. And all I have to do is tell it that, tag it with the Spanish. I set it up where it has all the workflows and everything in Spanish, and all I have to do is Spanish, and I already know that all my communication with this lead in Spanish. It communicates with me in English, but anything going out with that lead is in Spanish, and if I want to keep it in Spanish, then it will keep it in Spanish. As far as the information that it relates back to me, so it's great because that is, imagine just back and forth, you send in, you reply to 10 leads at the same time, and each lead is getting exactly what they need in the language that they need. That's beautiful.
That's awesome. That alone is awesome, and that's also a tool you can use for translation. If you are working with clients and you don't speak the language, then you have a communication barrier in between you. But now, if you have Glitch could be the go-between, and it can really be helpful, like you said, when you're dealing with clients, especially in the CRM. Um, it it to me is such an amazing tool. I know a lot of people are afraid of AI. They're afraid of things like this. Glitch is sandboxed into your CRM. It doesn't have to be GoHighLevel. GoHighLevel happens to be the one that we use. If you have a different CRM that you use, that's okay too. We could definitely set you up with a Glitch. But like I said, we GoHighLevel is the one that we use. Now he's sandboxed into your particular account, so it's not like he's going to be working with anybody else. He's just working for you. Each client, each account gets their own Glitch. He can't do anything past your account other than what you give him access for. So if you give him keys to be able to access other applications, he can, but you don't have to worry about him like hopping onto your computer and like taking over anything like that, because like I said, he is sandboxed. I was gonna say sandwiched. He's not.
And that's some of the concern that we encounter at the beginning, right? And obstacles like, oh, it has to be on your computer specifically. It has to live within this platform with this, only give him access to what you wanted to have access. Everything else, keep away from it. As if it has its own brain and able to take action on its own, which it can to some extent, as long as you put those guardrails in place. You tell them what you want him to do, and it will act within those. It's not just going all over the place and doing whatever it wants. It's not there yet, I think. But now we set it out where that's no longer a question. That's no longer a concern. It's all sandbox safety within each individual account without any safety concern. So I think that's an incredible um, step forward and what we were trying to build and where we're heading with this. So happy we're able to get that done because that opens the door for so many opportunities, so many people who have access to it without having those concerns that they had at the beginning.
They really are, and I know everything is changing so rapidly right now with AI. And that was kind of the reasons why we would have it built and we would have to rebuild and then we would have to change it. And it's been a long, tedious process to get him to where he is at. But I think the process was a learning process that we needed to go on because now we understand the way the CRM works, the way AI works with the CRM, I think probably better than most people out there. So we're able to do the things with him that like a year ago this wouldn't have been. To me, the biggest thing is a year ago, if you wanted to work on your CRM, you had to sit down at your desk or you had to go to a coffee shop, open up your laptop. Like there was no simply like picking up your phone and saying to your AI assistant, hey, I need you to follow up on I need you to handle my CRM, because that's what it's doing. It's handling your CRM. There was no doing that. So this means you can like be at dinner, you can be at the ball field, you can be wherever doing whatever, and you know that your CRM is being taken care of. And if anything happens, Glitch is going to let you know. He's going to draft up a proposal, and then he's going to take care of that for you. And just like Tony keeps getting so annoyed because I keep testing every day. I'm like, just running tests and seeing how much it can do, stress testing the crap out of him. And I keep sending invoices to Tony. And I'm like, hey, Glitch, send Tony an invoice for like, $500 and something. So not only does he send him the invoice, he creates the invoice, sets it for my approval. I look over it, make sure it's correct, prove it, send it off to Tony. But then he follows up. And he'll be texting Tony, he'll be emailing Tony, and he'll be saying, hey, just to let you know, you have an outstanding invoice that needs to be paid. And Tony's like, why do you keep sending me bills? I'm like, they're not real. You don't have to pay them unless you want to. But, so, and then he'll message me and tell me, hey, Tony Holland hasn't paid the invoice from yesterday.
He keeps getting charged for That's funny. That I could see Tony just, hey, stop sending me these bills.
We're like driving down the street, and I'll be like having Glitch send him an invoice, and he's like, his like phone will be up on the dash for the GPS, and we'll see an email come through, and it'll say like invoice from Real Talk. I don't know what.
Hey, I mean, I'm supporting you, and you charging me. Oh man, I could see that. Hey, I could give you another email so we can send to Ellie so she can start getting invoices.
I'll start billing her too. He's just joking. He's fine. But no, it's so amazing the things you can do, because you couldn't do those before. You could not have anything like that before. So
I remember when the AI to send out messages was integrated in the platform, and they continue to develop, and now they have the voice call. There's so many tools out there nowadays, and they just continue to advance very rapidly. And that reminds me, 2 years ago we were at a conference at the Vault in Miami. And they started talking about AI. They had one of the guests talking about AI and where it was at, and how fast it was coming. A lot of people in the audience were like, yeah. A lot of people think it's coming in fast. They don't realize that it's already here. And they even mention it, over the next 24 months, 3 years, you're gonna see a lot happening within the AI field. And sure enough, it has grown so much in that time frame that it's mind-boggling. But at the same time, it's such a great way to be involved in it, because such a great tools that we can continue to add to our business, to our day-to-day operation, and even on a personal level. There's so many ways you can use it to help you. The problem is, a lot of times we see a lot more of it in the use of not being for production and just for being for information, videos, etc., that are not effectively or being used for the right purpose. It is easier to remember the things that are not being used for good than actually being useful on a day-to-day operation.
Well, if I could give anybody advice about, especially like everybody who just graduated high school and they're going into college, or they're going into the field of whatever work they want to do, I would say learn to code and learn AI. Because even though vibe coding is all the rage right now, vibe coders don't understand what they're building. They don't understand how to maintain what they've built. And then even if we get to the point, which I assume we will, AI is just overtaking everything, you're going to have to know how to So they're always going to need people that know how to read it, that speak the same language as the robots, basically. So,
Yeah, pretty much. It's gonna be its own language, and if you're not able to communicate with it effectively in order to make some changes or some adjustments, what are you left with? You talking back to itself, and it's like, I'm not doing it now.
yeah,
you know. So like you said, that is its language. You need to be able to communicate with it and make the necessary adjustment as you see fit. So yeah, definitely a great place to be moving forward because you say a lot of people are doing too many things out there and don't understand how to take care of it, how to maintain it, and that could be a problem.
that could definitely be a problem for you, especially if it gets away from you, the build gets away from you, and then you don't know what you have, you don't know what you're doing. Um, so that's just my little token advice: is learn how to code.
Yeah, good deal, man. Look at this. We're what 45
Mhm.
today. So anything else we want to add to about glitch?
Yes, so I would say that you can go to the website running along the bottom, the www.runmycrm.com/BA, and you can get your own glitch. You can sign up there for a glitch. And I was actually going to pull up the website, but it's not going to let me share it because I'm already screen sharing the other things. So if you go to this website right now and go ahead and lock in your spot, you can get $150 off your first 2 months of Glitch Assist and $275 off your first 2 months of agency if you choose agency. I know we kind of briefly went over this stuff. At the bottom of the website, we have a demo calendar. Book your free demo. You can meet with either me or Andres, and we will explain to you exactly how Glitch can help you, help your system, and you'll see that Glitch more than pays for himself.
Absolutely, definitely. If you can, take a look at it or set up a demo. We'll show you how everything works. I think the value of it is just I think you can see it for yourself. Once people start you plugging in and seeing it, I really understand and appreciate the value of it because it's just mind-boggling on the things that it can do. And we haven't even touched into all the different social media posts and everything that it can create for you. That's a whole business in itself that you're probably paying somebody else to do for you.
Mhm.
While your own assistant can do it for you. So think about that.
Just to give you a quick idea, we have over 700 APIs, and we have 1,000 skills that Glitch already comes with. So that's what he comes with. So he's very powerful. You just have to know how to use him.
Wow. That's good. Good stuff.
Yep. But yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it for me for today. Anything that
Good to be back. Good to be back doing the podcast. I missed this. We haven't done it as much as we wanted to the past 2 3 months. Let's keep this going. I'm excited for what's ahead. I'm just grateful that we're in this together and we're in this for the long haul. And I'm excited to see that how far we take this, how much this is growth, and more so, I'm excited to see the type of results that people get with implementing this in their business because this is what it's all about: is to putting something out there that is easy to use, that people will use, and it will make a big difference in their business. And
yep.
and, and for me, for us, that's what's all. That was our vision. That was our goal, and I think we've done a great job in accomplishing that. So I'm excited to see people on board. I'm excited to get people to use it and see them grow with it. So so please check them out. RunMyCRM.com/BA. Try it out. Tell us what you think, and we're happy to get on a call and show you all the details as far as how it works and get you on board. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more Real Talk with Heather and Andres.
See you guys next